2 years into my OT therapy clinic practice, I was completely overwhelmed. I ran out of time and money. So here are three things that I did. I'm going to share with you what I did to get from feeling overwhelmed to getting more booked and actually making money in my practice. So I'm going to share them with you so that you can maybe think about where you are, where you want to go, because 2 years into my business, I didn't know what to do. I was feeling really frustrated. So let me share with you. My name is Huang, by the way. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And over 10 years ago, I started my therapy clinic. And over 5 years ago, I started Hand Therapy Secrets. And Hand Therapy Secrets' purpose is to help other occupational therapists develop their clinical skills and their business skills so you can have more choices in your career. So I became a certified hand therapist because I knew at some point in my life that I potentially would open a business. I thought about having my own clinic and how I would grow it and how I would do all this stuff on my own. And I delayed it for a really long time because I was really comfortable, let's just say. I was really comfortable. I had a really great, hospital position. And then I changed out the hospital position to get uncomfortable, but into a really high paying position in a private clinic. And I knew it wasn't my thing. And I knew that, I wanted to open my own business, not because I was unhappy with what I was doing. I think I was just unhappy with some of the ways things were getting done, and I wanted an opportunity to do it the way I wanted to do it. I think most people will get into business because they have this inkling inside them. Not everyone is created to have their own business. Some people do really well as second in command, as working in other organizations and moving up. But this video is really specific to someone who wants to do their own thing. You're a year or 2 years into your business and you're struggling, and you're struggling like I was struggling. And these are three things that I did. I literally invested into myself, into my business. That was number one. And from that, I'll tell you, I started marketing, I started selling, I started hiring people. But I didn't know how to do any of those three things until I started to invest in myself. When I started my business, I was looking for free resources, right? Online, I would Google shit, but you only get what you put in. So if you don't know what to look for, you don't know what questions to ask, you kind of don't get anything back. Right, so I was Googling all this stuff, and people were telling me oh, look at this free resource and look at that free resource, and listen to this book and listen to this podcast. And free only gets you so much, truth be told, free only gets you so much. So I, at that time, decided I can either continue to bake cookies. These were the things that I was doing. Don't judge me, okay? My cookies are a bomb. People still ask for that shit today, right? I was baking cookies. I was running around marketing to doctors that were never going to send me patients, and I was baking freaking cookies for them. I was running out of time. I was losing money. Losing money in the sense that I wasn't making money, right? You either make money or lose money. I was losing money by not making any because I was working on all the wrong things. I was focused on all the wrong things, and I didn't have the flexibility, to go and do stuff with my kids, which was the whole point, right? I am not someone who, I don't want to drop my kids off. I don't want to pick them up from school. I didn't want any of those things. But what I did want was when they had an event that I could go, right? I also am somebody who thinks about not just right now, but I think about what I want in the future. So I got to work on certain things now so I can get those things in the future. So my kids were, I think, 7 and 5 or something like that. They were still in elementary school, but I knew if I wanted to be there more for them, I needed to do certain things in my business now while they were in elementary school, so that when they were in middle school and high school, I was going to have more flexibility, because I knew from a business standpoint that you don't just do it and get it like that. It takes time to develop. I also had that foresight because my parents were in business. So, I saw how hard they worked. So I just knew I was running out of time, and I didn't want to do my business the way they had done theirs. I knew after a while I didn't want to bake the cookies. I didn't want to knock on these doors, sitting around waiting to have a freaking surgeon talk to me or not talk to me, or send me patients or not send me patients. You know what I mean? Like, they all come in there and, they'll take your cards, they'll take whatever goodies you give them, their staff will do it. But some doctor's office, they're never going to send you any freaking patients. And that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They have their own interests. They have their own people that they like. There's a certain networking that is important to do. But when I started to truly invest in myself, in Huang Tron as a business entity, when I invested into my business, I invested into business programs. I still continue to do that today. I invested into books, certain books. One of the top books that I would say that I learned that shifted my mindset from what I was doing into what I currently do today, and I want to continue learning, is the E-Myth. The E-Myth talked about, one of the biggest things was abdication, which is like you start your business, you are really good at something, but then you start hiring people and you abdicate to them. You want them to do stuff. And I was at that brink where I could hire people. And I kind of didn't know how to hire people. And I was scared to hire people because when you hire people, you spend a lot of money. You spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time with them. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I was doing. I was already doing it with admin. Like, I would hire them and I'd be like, don't you know what you're doing? Like, I'm paying you. Like, it's a terrible place to be, but that's how, a lot of people get stuck there. Please don't get stuck there. The E-Myth really changed my mindset around it, and I started to look for business programs I could pay for, that I could be in, and it really changed the trajectory of my business. So sometimes in the first year you want to be a cheap ass and you want to like hoard all the money that you're coming in because you can't see how you're going to get more money. You don't want to pay for shit. Like, I get it. I've been there, done that. I see it to this day. But one of the best things I ever did was invest in myself. And when you invest in yourself, you literally are telling yourself you're worth it and that you have the capacity to do things. So I invested in marketing, learning how to market. I invested in learning how to sell. So I increased my prices. I created packages. And I learned how to have really good, meaningful conversations with people that then, help them to make a decision whether they were going to come and work with me or not, right? And that marketing and selling go hand in hand. Like, marketing, what did I do? I started sharing my perspective. I started getting on camera. I started being consistent, like learning to be more consistent. And then because the marketing and selling did make me more money, I was able to properly invest in people. I started hiring people. So I started hiring people while I was doing all that. Like, don't think it's like 1, 2, 3. Like, that shit was all happening at one time. And it was like this whirlwind, and it literally set my business on fire. And I lost a ton of money, and then I gained it all back and then some, right? So just because you're going through the fire sometimes right now and things sound or feel like you're struggling, it just requires a few key decisions and then the work that then supports the decision that you make. So sometimes when you're getting stuff for free, just this example, right? I create free content, free videos, but sometimes because they're for free, you take it for granted that they're there, and you don't have any accountability behind it. You're like, oh, just watch another video. Oh, just watch another person. It's all free. And that's okay. Like, they're meant to kind of get you started. But the things that help you to get started aren't the things that keep you going. When you invest in yourself, and you can invest in any program. I'm not saying that you need to invest in my program, but if you want to, the links are below. But if you invest in yourself, that is a signal to yourself. Like, you're not going to waste that money. First of all, it's tax deductible, right? So I was like, this is all tax deductible because I did make money, and you want to mitigate your taxes, right? But when you develop, when you purchase into like a business program and things like that. That's all tax deductible. But that learning isn't just at that time. That learning continues over and over and over as you continue to do the work. But when you invest in yourself and when you invest because something is really good and not because it's really cheap, right? Invest in something because it's really good. You are looking at something and think about, like, regardless of the price, like, don't even look at the price, regardless of price. If that program speaks to you, or that person speaks to you, or that thing is the thing that you need, think about like investing, and think about like how that might change your life, how that could give you a transformation, right? How it can transform your business, not just today, because it's not going to happen overnight, but tomorrow and the next month and the next year. When I initially invested in it, it was the most expensive thing I had ever purchased in terms of investing, because as therapists, we think about like $199 MedBridge program. You get all these CEUs. You can even fucking go cheaper, right? OT.com, whatever it's called. You take a live course, what are you paying at the most? $750, right? So most therapists, we kind of think real cheaply, we think real cheap, but then we want premium prices. Like, that shit, it's not aligned. So you have to almost change around your mindset around it and think like, if regardless of the price, right, what is the one thing that speaks to me? What is the one skill that is lacking, that if I could develop that one skill would change the trajectory of my life? That was marketing for me, and that was business learning for me. That was business developing. I had a lot of clinical skills. No one will find your clinical skills if you have zero business skills. This is the thing that stops most OTs from growing their own business, from going into business on their own, and always looking to fucking partner with someone else so they can piggyback off of someone else. And then within a year or two, there's so many clashes, because, business partnerships is like a marriage. Y'all people, look at marriages, 50% divorce rate. What do you think is going to happen to yours if you don't have a strong foundation in your business and in what you know? You can get into a business agreement with somebody, and two people, the two blind leading the blind, and then you break up within a year or two before you can even start to make really good money. So, think about, and what do you need to do to change how you are looking at investing in yourself, right? Really. So that changed my mindset. That changed me from always constantly in this, what is it, like feast or famine. So I would get patients and I'd be like, oh my God, thank God. And then they would all be done and I'd be like, oh my God, I have no more patients, right? So I went from that to getting constant work and knowing how to look at my business, so that there's always going to be ebbs and flows in your business, but learning how to invest in myself allowed me to learn how to mitigate all the risk, and how to think forward, and how to plan accordingly, how to market myself in a way that's going to bring the best patients that I want to work with, that my team wants to work with, right? But initially I invested in myself, and when you invest something really expensive, you're like, I'm gonna get my money's worth. I am not going to let that $10,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, whatever your price is, I'm not gonna let that shit go to waste. I am going to use it, and I did, and it changed the trajectory of my business. And over 10 years ago, that's when I started I started my business, but it wasn't until 2 years into my business. And that's what I'm sharing with you, because if you are 1 or 2 years into your business, you might be struggling a little bit, like I was struggling. And when I made that change, poof, it changed everything. And since then, I've been able to grow my clinic, grow Hand Therapy Secrets, and be able to hire therapists. I've been able to help other therapists. I've been able to hire therapists. They've been able to come into my clinic. I've been able to see them grow their career, have choices of their own. Do they leave you? Absolutely. Am I happy they left me? Actually, yes. Actually, I am happy they left me, because here's what I told my therapist: when you come and you get what you need and you're ready to go, you've just answered someone else's prayers, because they were looking for an opportunity. So now they have an opportunity to go. Is it hard for me? Absolutely. But I've also done certain things help to make sure that it can go smoothly, right? It can go smoothly, so the wheel keeps churning, my clinic keeps growing. I don't want to be like some large, multi-location clinic or anything like that at this point in time. But do I have an opportunity to help very specific people in my area? Absolutely. Do I get to bring patients in that my therapist can treat and my team loves, taken care of? Absolutely. So you can go from being that overwhelmed person, just like I was, to having like a nice cadence of, constant patients coming in and getting the help. They leave, more patients come, they refer more people, and then on and on. And before you know it, you have a really successful business that fuels your career, gives you the time and flexibility you're looking for. And then you take that money that you make, invest in yourself, invest in your retirement, invest in your future. So many different good things can come from having a great business where you're not constantly overwhelmed or that you hate it. I never wanted to be that business owner where, you'll never see me saying like, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm doing exactly what I want to do in my business. And I've always wanted that in my career. So if that sounds anything like you, leave me a comment. Let me know. Does this video resonate with you? Is it helping you at all? If you want more of my help, my links are below. But yeah, give this video a like, give me a follow, leave me a comment, whatever you like. Let me know. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.